In France, like America, the flying saucer mystery makes headlines. A young Frenchman photographed this flying saucer, or is it, from a mountainside in central France. Military officials, suspecting that the object was a meteorological balloon, send one aloft and photograph it. But comparison shows a striking contrast, and puzzled officials wonder, what was it? In Washington, ghost-like objects dart across the radar screen at the CAA Traffic Control Center at National Airport for several hours, traveling more than 100 miles an hour. Air Force jet fighters spend several hours chasing the objects plotted on the radar scope. General Sanford, Air Force Intelligence Director, confirms that the objects are not secret American weapons and reiterates the Air Force's obligation to investigate.
In pursuit of this obligation, since 1947, we have received and analyzed between 1,000 and 2,000 reports that have come to us from all kinds of sources. Of this great mass of reports, we have been able adequately to explain the great bulk of them, explain them to our own satisfaction. However, there have been a certain percentage of this volume of reports that have been made by credible observers of relatively incredible things. It is this group of observations that we now are attempting to resolve. We have, as of date, come to only one firm conclusion with respect to this remaining percentage, and that is that it does not contain any pattern of purpose or of consistency that we can relate with to any conceivable threat to the United States.
From out of nowhere, the flying saucer mystery is with us. What is the flying saucer? What do people see and sometimes photograph? What's behind the daily reports of aerial phenomena in the nation's press? After more than 5 years of study, there is still no agreement, even among the experts.
We can say that the recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any agency of the United States.
With all due respect to the Air Force, I believe that some of them will prove to be of interplanetary origin.
In my position in the Research and Development Organization of the Bureau of Aeronautics and of the Navy Department, I am thoroughly familiar with both our aircraft and our guided missiles programs and can state without reservation that the Navy has no saucer-shaped aircraft or missile in any of these programs.
I glanced up and there were 3 flying saucers in a V, approximately a half a mile away from me at an altitude of 350 feet. They appear to be hovering in midair with what I believe to be a spinning action.
What are these shadowy voyagers of the atmosphere? While our forefathers were still dreaming of flight decades ago, they sketched these aerial vehicles of the future. Strangely, some of them resemble the saucers of today. When we went to work to make reality out of these dreams, we fashioned crude rocket-propelled devices such as these. While unsuccessful in themselves, they proved to be our first fumbling efforts to master the techniques of jet and rocket propulsion. If the flying saucers are of this earth, this may be how they were born, with their later growth and maturity cloaked in official secrecy. When the smoke of the war blew away in 1945, we found ourselves suddenly arrived in the age of rocket propulsion. However, since then, the lid has been on. Other than announcements of ever-increasing altitudes reached by the rockets, we have had no reports, though we know millions are being spent on them. To our knowledge, the engines in the B-47 are the most powerful in use today. Yet the announced speed of this airplane is only 600 miles per hour, a mere fraction of the velocity of the discs. Only if radically new aerodynamics are in use could the discs be powered by jet engines of today. This is a Thunderjet executing a loop. hazardous in a jet plane because of the centrifugal force the pilot must withstand during the pullout. Yet characteristic of the saucers is their fantastic maneuverability. Discs, moving at many times the speed of sound, suddenly reverse direction. Flight surgeons say any human pilot attempting this would perish instantly. Likewise, saucer reporters agree that the new jet helicopter was not what they saw. If not conventional aircraft, then what did they see?
They appeared to be 50 feet in diameter, with what appeared to be a dome on the top, with, I can't be sure, but I believe I saw the sun glinting off of, windows or observation portholes of sort.
Is this what Weisberger saw? This disc was photographed by an Oregon farmer as it hovered low over his field. Experts say these are actual photographs of a flying saucer. The farmer cited the same spinning action and estimated the diameter of the disc at 20 to 30 feet. In Kentucky, a motion picture photographer attracted by a strange noise overhead trained his camera on this disc. Here, the wobbling motion mentioned in so many reports is clearly seen. A Coast Guard photographer snapped this phenomena when it appeared briefly over Salem, Massachusetts. The incandescence seen here was bright enough to stand out in broad daylight. What may have been the same phenomena was photographed at night by August Roberts, who has this to say about it.
What do you think it was? I think it was from outer space, but friendly.
Like many of the saucer reports, the latest and most credible to be received comes not from America, but from behind the Iron Curtain. Seen on the ground by the refugee mayor of a small East German town, its crew was startled by the screams of the mayor's daughter. The first eyewitness report of a supposed Soviet guided missile tells of a saucer-shaped object.
The moment the crew disappeared in the cylinder, the disc rose with a humming noise until the thing was standing on the cylinder like a big mushroom. Then, he said, the disc began rotating. Red, blue, and green flames spurted out from the holes in it. He thinks they were for jet propulsion, these holes. He saw the thing rise straight up from the ground and move off parallel with the ground once it had gained height.